لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. So first of all, before we start, just next week, Ustad Abu Taymiyyah will come, and this time with hot topic instead of the fiqh of marriage. Secondly, I really appreciate all the youth they attend. This is now after 10 p.m. Subhanallah. Today is one of the longest day during the year, and still, alhamdulillah, people come to the mosque and try to benefit. I have a little daughter. She asked me just right now. I said, why? I said, I have a lesson, sorry, I will come, inshallah. I said, a lesson? 10 o'clock? And there is audience? I said, yes. May Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala bless all of you. Last time we talked about marriage contract and the conditions that both spouses are allowed to put in that marriage contract. Now we'll move on in our journey. What after marriage contract is the wedding or the consummation. In Islam, there's two words you have to understand. Number one is aqd, marriage contract. And number two is dukhul, which is consummation. Because there is a slight different ahkam here. When you did a marriage contract, you are now officially husband and wife. Full rights. Once you did that marriage contract, everything is halal, even intimacy. However, in some cultures, as we discussed before, they have an agreed condition or expectation that the spouses, when they did marriage contract, they should not have any intimacy or consummation till the wedding, till they announce that publicly. For the majority of modern scholars, the husband should respect this condition. So we say to the husband, yes, you are married, but don't break trust. Keep harmony with your in-laws. And we say also to the in-laws, what if that happened? It's not a zina, it's not a sin, it's a broken condition, not a moral failure. Because marriage contract is the most important in Sharia. But try to avoid that tension and start your life with that tension between families. So when we say marriage contract, now imagine the couples now, they did the marriage contract and they are waiting for the wedding. They prepare for the wedding. In this period between wedding and marriage contract, if there is no intimacy, no consummation in this. When I say consummation, in Sharia, we have a word called dukhul. Dukhul is interest, but dukhul here means when the two couples are alone in a room and they can do whatever they want without interruption. That's called dukhul in Sharia. So I want you to understand the difference between marriage contract and this dukhul, consummation. How's that? Imagine now they did the marriage contract and they're waiting for the wedding. And suddenly the husband decides to give divorce. Give divorce during this period. There's no consummation, only marriage contract. In this case, number one, now the wife is entitled with the half of dowry, not the full dowry, only the half. Because full is just with consummation. Number two, that there is no iddah. We'll talk about iddah in details. Iddah is a waiting period that the wife should wait after divorce or death. In this case, there is no waiting iddah. So once he informed them that he cancelled the nikah, she deserves the half of the dowry, and then she can get married straight away with another one. Okay, another scenario. They made a marriage contract, and they're waiting for a wedding, there is no consummation anymore. In that period, the husband passed away. In this case, all the rights now is applied. It means the waiting period, idda, is there. She should wait for 4 months and 10 days. Second, she entitled to the full mahar. Third, she inherits her husband. So that's the difference between consummation and marriage contract. I hope it's very clear now. Any questions in the question, inshallah, part? So now we are waiting for this wedding. Wedding in Islam, it's highly recommended to make wedding publicly, to announce the wedding. Halal should be we should announce halal. We should make it publicly. Should everyone know that these couples are married. That's one of the difference between haram and halal in this case. And that's why Islam encourage here to have a duf. What's a duf in English? What's this? Drum. The traditional drum, duf. Rasulullah said, "Idribu alayhi bid-duf." Why? Because this is publicly. This is everyone in the city. Oh, what's going on? Oh, so and so. These two couples, they become married. That's very important. Halal is always announced publicly. Haram is always secret and behind the doors. Okay, so these weddings now is for this. The first point here I want to mention that the purpose of wedding is to announce the marriage, is a type of gratitude that you want to share joy with the families. But the purpose is not to show off, is not to compete with others with how will pay more in this wedding. It's not about I want to hire the most luxury hall in Manchester. It's not about this. Don't start your marriage with debt. Some people, they take a debt just to hire a very fancy hall in Manchester. Why you do that? It's not about show off. It's not competition. If you want barakah in your marriage, then do it in your capacity and try to make it simple. Focus on marriage itself. You know, some families, they focus on that on one night in weddings. They spend a lot of money just in this. And after that, the marriage is the most important. This is just the door of the marriage. Focus on the marriage, not in the door. Also, in this also, some people say this is just one day. Let us spend whatever we want. It's not about this. It's about just show off. And then what happened? Another family want to get married, probably in the same family. They don't have the capability of the first family, so they want to compete. They will take a debt just to compete this family. We should stop this. We should break the cycle. This is not encouraged Islamically. Another also something in the wedding, that's free mixing. You have to differentiate between culture and Islam. Islam is not against culture. But when the culture go beyond Islam, then here we have to stop. If there is free mixing with the same hall and all they together and all the women with their full makeup, that's not from Islam. We should be very careful in this. We should organize the whole. This is, for example, part for the men, this part for the women. Because in wedding, usually, the women came with their makeup. They want to enjoy with their colleagues or friends. So free mixing here, they will put pressure on them. So make this whole, this part for women, this part for men. That's very important. Also, when the wedding is very important, but very important is just in simple. In Islam, to slaughter a goat or sheep in wedding, this is highly recommended. In the three madhahib, it's highly recommended. In Maliki madhab, it's obligatory even. Obligatory to slaughter a sheep or cow or goat. In this, it means wedding, this is very important. Again and again, it's for announcement. To make sure that this marriage is publicly now. Another question is here, okay, now in that period between marriage contract and wedding, can we travel together? Okay, here again come to the same point. Islamically, yes, you can travel together. You are married officially. However, if there is an expectation in the in-laws, if there is no consummation, then you have to take permission. Take permission from your in-laws. Can I take my wife for Wales or for few days? That's before the wedding. Yes, if they give permission, then why not? This is what called consummation, which is dukhul in Sharia. There's a lot of things, but the most important here is just a messages. We want you to be the one in your family to break the cycle. Try, make this initiative. If you know that during your family there is always a lot of show-off and competition, be the first one who will break that. If there is free mixing, say, I will never do it. If there is a lot of spending and wasting, say, I will never do it. Be a role example for those people who will come after you from the same family. May Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala guide us. Okay, after this there is some ahkam, but I want to pause here. Receive your questions first about marriage and then wedding, or anything we said before, or anything between this period. If you finish your questions, then I will carry on the series, inshallah. Yes.
Between the nikah and the wedding, we consider the man divorcing. What if the girl or the woman was
Okay. Okay. We will come to the, look, he asked about khulu' in this period. I will talk about all what break the nikah, like khulu' or fasakh or talaq, these three things in details. Just a few after 3 or 4 weeks, inshallah. Don't confuse people this now in this terms. Yes.
So, what advice do you give for young brothers and sisters who, they don't want to have a big wedding, they want to keep it, not too extravagant, but their parents put a lot of pressure on them. You save a lot of money for this and all these. Some parents, they save up their lifetime just to spend it on the wedding.
So he said some brothers or sisters, they want to make their wedding very simple, but they have a pressure from their parents. Their parents save a lot of money just for that night. I would say just a gentle advice to your parents that the most important thing is the marriage, not that night in the wedding. If I spend all this money and then after that, that will not make nikah more barakah because I spend more. No, instead, if I make it simple, then it will be more barakah. The most important is what after this. Wedding is just a door. Focus, open the door and focus on what after that. I think that's a very good question. We should spread this knowledge among parents, because in this case, always the culture and customs always take over the religion here. And some parents, they feel shame. How can I not spend all my saving in my son's wedding? This is shame. It's not shame. It's just culture. So instead give that money to your son to build his life after that, instead of wasting in one day. Some people spend 100,000 just in one night. And some even take debt just for this. Subhanallah. Yes, wedding this is very important, highly recommended, but just simple also. Because there is another angle here. Think about those people in your relatives who don't have capability to do this. So your cousin, your nephew, for example, he will get married next year. Okay, you, alhamdulillah, have money. Keep that money for your son after, or your daughter. Keep in mind that this relative, they have to imitate you. because of culture. Then they will take debt just because of this. In my small village or city in Mauritania, 25 years ago, they come with the elderly there and the wise people, they come across with a decision that they set a certain amount of money for a mahr, and they also said that wedding should be like this, only no spending. If you have money, spend it after that with your wife. Because we want all the youth to get married, not to imitate each other, and they are not in the same capability. Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Chef, if my friends are getting married, what's the recommendation of a gift? To give them money, to give them something in their name? What should we give them?
So my friend get married, I want to give a gift for him. What do you recommend? I will recommend a money, just an envelope, and inside that envelope some money. Then we'll help each other in that, inshallah. Yes. Yes, that's right.
I just want to clarify something.
Go on.
For example, I'm on social media. I can't announce. What exactly do you mean when you say announce? Like, what's the
Ah, okay, that's a good question. That's a good question. Okay, good question. Very good question. Okay, when I say it's recommended to announce the nikah, what does that mean? I don't mean social media. Sorry about that. That's very good clarification. Announce, it means in your families, both families, and the area you live in the city. That's what I mean by announce. So it means both families, all the members of families, they know this. And the area you live in, the mosque you pray on, you understand me? The friends you know in that city, announce should be all here. I don't mean social media, no. One of the mistakes that social media, they announce the wedding on social media, especially if it's very expensive wedding, and they go beyond here Sharia, where the women with their full makeup, they expose themselves in social media in wedding. That's not permissible. That's not permissible. To make a social, to wedding, yes, but to expose yourself with that full makeup, that's not with Sharia. Yes. Very good question. What if my friend invited me to his wedding and the wedding is free mixing? Let me first of all clarify free mixing. There's organized wedding. It means the hall is split to two parts, and the men, they can't see the woman, for example. That's not what I talk about. I talk about they are all in the same hall, and the men can see the woman with their full makeup, and that's free mixing. If that happened, and he invited me, first of all, we have to know that if someone invited you to his wedding, in vast majority of scholars, you have to accept that invitation. This is obligatory. Okay, to accept. Why it's obligatory in Sharia? Because that night for him is the most important moment in his life. So if you don't come, you break his heart. That's number one. Okay, what if there is free mixing here? What if there is something haram here? Then I would say here, it depends to your closeness to that person. If he is your brother, for example, or is that close friend that if you don't come, you'll break his heart. If that's the case, I would say go and come, but just for a few moments, to give salam and to hug him in that, and say, I apologize because of this reason I have to go, but I come just for you. So here you combine the objectives of Sharia, which is not breaking the heart, here breaking the heart. But if is a random, just from the friends, one of your colleagues at university, see him once in the mosque, no, that's not important. Obligatory only when it's close for you. Sometimes, if you don't come to your brother or your sister, that will break the kinship. Here, Sharia prioritize this. Even the wedding has something haram, but you have to come here and give salam and hug him and have a picture with him just to make him happy. And then you can go. Yes? Is not
financially able
to what?
to marry. So how can the parents decide whether get married
So the brother is not financially capable.
to get married
Okay?
to avoid like the haram and the
Okay?
and they both
But
want to do halal,
but they don't have money. Okay. What if the brother or a sister, they want to get married, but they are not capable financially, and they're afraid that they will fall in temptation or desires or all of these things? Here we talk and send a message to all parents, to all elderly people, to all wise people, to anyone who is leader in the community, to facilitate nikah for the youth. I said many times that financial matters should not be obstacle from some people. They want halal. We should facilitate for that for them. So I would say if that happen, come to any mosque and speak to the imam. He will try to help you, inshallah ta'ala. Yes. And I said before that zakat is eligible for people if they want to get married. Yes.
Sometimes when you invite people to your wedding, they may reply to you saying, if you invite this other person, I will not come to your wedding. Politics. What do you recommend in that situation?
He said sometimes a friend of mine get married and he invited me to the marriage, and some friends said, if you invited so and so, I will not come to your marriage. He said, thank you, don't come. I think you take this chance to a good advice for the importance of brotherhood. Say this is the good time to all come together and to break that, to solve this problem, to reconciliate with each other. Some good advice like this. Yes.
What if you are invited to a non-Muslim wedding where drink mixing, alcohol is
What? Okay. What if you invited to a wedding also a lot of the same thing I said also. If that person is very close to you or one of your relatives, if you are revert or something, again, depend to his closeness, come just short of time and give him salam and leave after that. Yes. Salam alaikum.
if someone is getting married in Europe and their family is like in other countries and they are temporarily in Europe, so do they have to have a wedding in their country to announce it for everyone? Or
Did he do one here?
one year?
Okay. If someone get married here in Western country and then do they have to do another also announcement and wedding in their home country? It's up to them. In Sharia, it's obligatory once. If they won't do it twice, that's fine. But the obligatory one or the high recommend is just only one. If they want to their home, that's fine to announce, especially if the vast majority of his relative is there. Why not? Yes. Assalamu alaikum.
In some cultures, they use
About what?
the duff
Yeah.
to justify having the music in the not remixing, but the music. My question is it justifiable? And if it is, what are the
Okay. He said that you said that duf is recommended in to announce nikah. Is that applied to music also? And some people justify that with the music. No, it's not applied for music. It's applied only for duf for that. But nowadays you can do a lot of what called anashid, this nasheed and all of this. Sometimes a very nice nasheed in traditional way, without instrument. There's a lot of alternative now. But when we say duf, in fuqaha, they don't talk about instruments. No, they talk only about duf. Yes.
And just following on from that question, if for example, a non-Muslim believer has family who want to sit together and the believer says, facilitate you a corner of the roof away from everyone else, would this still be classified as free mixing if they all are on one side and the Muslim women are on another and the men are on the other side? Would that still be classified
So he put his family where?
on one side of the roof?
Okay, what's the problem with that?
Would it be classified as free mixing
No.
without a butter or for example?
Yeah, but that's just his own family. That's no problem, yeah. Reverts, there's a lot of ahkam in this. Islam is very flexible when it comes to revert because they want encourage them to increase their Islam, and so there is a lot of flexibility when we come to the reverts. That's one of it. Yes, Shaheen.
Sheikh, but the question about the son, because when Abu Bakr had come to the Prophet's house, Aisha was singing songs with the wedding, and he actually stopped her to do it. But when the Prophet came, he said, "Oh, it's married."
That's right.
So songs are like, I mean, until it's almost
That's right. Yeah, you talk about songs. Yes, songs without instrument is no problem. But he talk about the instruments. Yes, songs without, this is, any weddings nowadays, in any country, there's a traditional songs. There's no problem with that. Problem is these new instruments. But traditional songs, there's no problem at all. Instead, this is one of the recommendation that Prophet ﷺ one day, in Bukhari, one of the Muhajirin get married with one female of Ansar, and then Rasulullah ﷺ, he is out of his house, so he saw the wedding, so a silent wedding. You see, what's this? Why you don't do some of the traditional songs? فَإِنَّ الْأَنصَارَ يُعْجِبُهُمُ اللَّهُ. And he taught them, he said, هَلَّا قُلْتُمْ, shall you say, أتيناكم فحيونا نحييكم ولولا الحنطة السمراء وما سمنت ذراريكم. Even the way he chose this is like, you understand, is that rhythm of these traditional songs. So that's in nikah, yes.
Does the wording matter in the music? Like what type of words are being said in the nasheed?
Usually nasheed, there's no problem with that. What will say?
Let's say like a song, like traditional song.
Okay.
And there's any words like
No.
shirky words?
No. Traditional songs, there's no problem. There's no shirky words. Okay. Yes.
Sheikh, what's the Islamic position of the father paying for the wedding? Does the father have to pay for the wedding? And then also the in-laws, do they have to contribute? What's the Sharia?
He asked, what's the rule of father in the wedding? If the father is wealthy and his son can't afford all of this, is it obligatory for father to pay for wedding? No, it's not obligatory for father to pay for the wedding, but it's recommended for him to help his son if he want to complete this religion and he want to do something halal. It's recommended for him. I can't say it's obligatory, but I would say to every single father, if you have, alhamdulillah, wealth, that you prepared for what? This is the time to spend for your son or your daughter, both. Yes, in-laws also. What do you mean by in-laws? Okay, if the in-laws want to pay half and want to help the husband, mashallah, that's amazing. As a gift from Allah. In Sharia, if anyone wants to spend, Sharia doesn't stop spending. This is his money and he wants to help, that's amazing. I said before in time that this time marriage is very difficult. So if the girl or the family of girl want to help the husband, why not? That's facilitate the halal. That's amazing.
The default position that is on the group.
Yes, the default position is on the groom. Yes, the default is everything in the groom. Yes, that's right. Yes. Yeah, is men together or women together? So every gender separate with genders. Yeah, no problem. He talk about dancing with duf. dancing with duf, there is no problem if the men dancing together, only men together, and the women together, there's no problem with that. Yes, because that's obvious in any weddings. Sharia doesn't prohibit that at all. That's the most important is only female together, men together. Yes. Yes, Masood. Before, to complete study before get married. Okay. Okay. Said there's a brother and sister, they agree to get married and they inform their families. And after a while, a girl came and said, no, I changed my opinion. I want to complete my degree first and then get married. What's the advice here? Okay. The brother, he can't do too much, but it just advice for the all sisters that marriage, if you make condition of with your husband that he will help you in that degree, marriage doesn't stop you from studying. I know many sisters, they are studying and they are married. Just sometimes shaitan or nafs come to you and said it can't be together, marriage and studying. Why not? You can just make condition, I will get married, but I want you to help me and don't stop me from studying. If that brother is a wise, he will help you and you'll find barakah in studying and in marriage. You can even said that in this studying, we will delay the children for 2 years. There is no problem for that in the strongest opinion in Sharia also. So just try. Halal is very important, sister. Yeah. Yes. Bismillah.
Marrying someone and the family is having a condition that there should be free mixing in music in marriage. But the girl and boy doesn't want that.
Subhanallah.
So what the person should do, if the person doesn't accept that, they'll say we will not give our daughter to you.
Very, very critical issue. Okay. He said if a man give proposal to a sister and then they agree with everything, but the families, either the in-laws or his family, they make a condition, we want a wedding to be free mixing and music and all of this stuff because of cultural. The default, the husband should disagree with that, but he said, what if he disagreed, they will cancel the marriage. And this is now a critical issue. So step number 1, he should involve some wise people. Should involve some wise people for that. Step number 2, he should reduce that condition as much as he can. Number 3, if he knows that this is the right potential and she is a wise woman, she doesn't like that, he doesn't like that, just families and pressure. If that's a necessity, he can go forward with that necessity after he's tried everything. Yes. Okay. 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 What if they get married or before they get married, they are now in the conditions discussion. So the woman said, I just only want 2 children. Okay. Number 1, I want to send a message for all sisters that I want 1 child, 1 children. This is just an effect of this Western culture nowadays, that you look at children from an angle that children will be a heavy, will burden you, will be a heavy responsibility. Children are blessings. Children are barakah. Children bring a lot of provision to your life, a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. Think about all our fathers and grandfathers. That extended family, subhanallah, have an amazing environment. So try number 1 to know this is not from Islam. Islam encourages us to take care of our children, to enhance our ummah? That's number one. Number two, what if she make that condition? Then here, it's the brother now, if he want this sister and the only obstacle is this, then discuss with her that. Try to convince her. If she doesn't convince, then after that, can you get married with her? Yes. And can you break that condition in the future? Absolutely yes. So be wise after that. Some sisters, they say this in the beginning because they're just influenced by others. When you get married and you are a very wise and you are a good husband, and usually she will change this condition easily. Yes. Yes. Why break? Just for the sisters, because any conditions is against Sharia. Even if I agree with it, I can break it. You understand me? Any condition against Sharia, if you break that condition, there's no problem. That makes sense. Yes.
If two individuals want a small wedding,
Okay.
and they both agree, and nowadays I feel like the parents are in kind of, he's invited me, so I have to invite them. And the two people that get married can't facilitate a big wedding, but they want a small one, and the parents are like, no, I can't invite this person because they've always invited me to their wedding. What should their approach be?
Okay. This question occurs now many times. It seems a bit of phenomena now that the two couples want a simple wedding, but always the parents are the obstacle. So it's very sad. Parents, culture is important in Islam, but if the culture go beyond Islam, we stick with Islam. Okay, what if the couples want a simple wedding and the parents said, no, you have to extend it because that person invited me in his wedding. That person, okay, I will say to my father then, that's fine, I agree with you, but help me financially. Bismillah. You pay for it. Or I will say to in-laws or my parents, the one who want me to extend, I agree with that, but help me financially. Halls nowadays, they increase their amount, subhanallah, crazy. So this is also a message for any wealthy person in society. If you have a wedding hall, try to facilitate that for young people. Try to make it easy. Yes. Are you married? Are you married? Why you ask a lot of questions about? Do you have another intention? Okay. تفضل. Yes. Another question, guys? Is there any question? Yes. I'll come to you. Yes. Oh, you are from Liverpool. Allahu Akbar. How are you? Good. Abdul Wasi'. Daffa. Zaffa. Okay. What call in English? Caravan. Okay. Caravan. Oh, that's amazing. Wedding caravan. Okay. What about wedding caravan that the people, they go with cars, many cars, and they try to make some sounds, beep, 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 just to announce. Okay. The default is not haram, but we're just looking at from different angle. Is that hurt people or disturb the people? Is it in the night time that will wake up some people, for example? The action itself, there's no problem with it. It's permissible. But just look at the consequences. If it's at night, if it disturbs people, so it depends to that consequence. But the action itself, there's no problem. نعم عشان هيك سألته عشان هيك سألته نعم هذا فهمي بس فهو يمني سألته لأجل هذا نعم yes. Okay, sometimes they make separate. There is a hall for part for men and part for women. There's no free mixing. However, in the end of the wedding, they will invite the husband to come to the women's section and take some pictures with his wife. Okay, there's no problem with that if the all women announce before and they all try to cover themselves and try to be in modest way, for example, and he only will see that his wife is the only one who has makeup. There's no problem with that. But it's not recommended. But I can't say haram. No, it's not haram. Yes. Is there any question, guys? Okay, we answered this question previous time, if you understand, if you remember. Is that right? I talk about previous time, many questions about the second wife. I said it's the condition with second wife, you have to be just. Is that right? You can't be just when you hide one of them. You can't implement justice with that hidden. Huh? Sorry? Listen to me. If you hide one of your wives, you can't implement justice. And implementing justice is obligatory. Is that clear? Okay. Yes. In women's section? In general, okay. He asked about the makeup in general for the woman. Also, Kitab al-Zina, what is all about, what's Zina? Anything about beauty or makeup or this is our chapter immediately after marriage, inshallah. There's a lot of details. We'll talk about that. But the makeup I talk about here in wedding, that's too much makeup that every woman now won't come to the. So she should come and cover her face with that too much makeup till she reach the women's section. There's no problem if she is with women. We'll differentiate between something normal and something too much. Yes. We forgot about women. Allahu Akbar. We give them just one lecture.
Question says that how can a son respectfully tell his traditional parents that he and his wife need to live in their own home so they have space to grow together?
How can how can a son respectfully tell his parents that he wants to live with his wife separately? Yes, I said this before, that we advise all the parents, let your children, let your son, let your daughter start their life separately. That's good for them. That's healthy life. The problem is the parents, they understand the separate life as this is now will cut the kinship. It's not like this at all. They will come to you every single day. They will be always there. It's just they need to start their life with that separate, because there is a lot of tensions happen here. Some parents think this is just a effect of Western culture. It's not effect of Western culture. In Islamically, the man have a right to offer a house for his wife. So this is from Islam itself also. But you should tell them in very respect way, oh my father, I will be always there. My wife is your daughter, will be here all the time. I just need my own space in the beginning. Some nice words like this. If he can't convince him, then tell him to come to the mosque. I will speak to the father, inshallah. Yes.
Let's say you have a relative that's getting married, and you know there's going to be 3 weeks in the music, and you still have to go to the wedding.
I said that before. Okay, I said before the same question, that if the wedding has something haram and you invite it to, it depends to your relationship with that one. If it's close relationship, I would say go and give salam, give hug, have a picture with him, and then leave. Because Islam here doesn't want to break hearts also. If it's not close or relative, that's not necessary. Yes.
Sheikh, in some countries, like in Pakistan, when there's a wedding, there will be not free mixing, but the event organizers will be male. Like they'll be coming to serve females and males as well. So is that allowed?
Okay. There is no free mixing, but in the in the sister side, there's a males who come and serve. That's not recommended in Sharia. If we can avoid that and ask for the whole, I want women to serve women and men to serve men, because all women, they come with not with little clothes and all of this. So if the woman, that will make a lot of pressure for them. So Islamically, should women serve women and men serve women? Yes. Abdul Wasi'.
أحيانا especially in the Yemeni community when there's a wedding and everyone's in a wedding hall and everyone's sitting down, there's taghzina that takes place. What happens if you don't, you're not part of the taghzina, you're not yourself, but the father or the family is saying that you have to show your face, you have to be there, you are the groom.
You have to khazan.
No, you should be there.
I should be there. Okay. Okay.
And some people may say to you, jarrib.
Okay. Okay, a brother from Yemen, he said that in the weddings in Yemen, usually there is what they call takhzeen. Takhzeen al-qat. Anyone knows takhzeen, guys? Okay. Qat is just like of, what's qat in English? Cat. Okay. Cat. Okay. Okay, they said, and what if they attend here? I would say cut first from the ulama ul Yemen. They have two opinions. The majority of them, they said it's not allowed, but some of them, they said it's allowed. So this agreement opinions is more flexible than anything else. So if the elders come and they make takhzeen, let them make takhzeen. That's not your problem, not your business. But you don't do it. That's not your business. Yes. There's no problem. Yes. Raise your voice. معلش اسمع لي هذا ما أسمع. Okay. You said that if the man wants to get married and he doesn't have that financial capability, he can take from zakah. So is that not contradict with that he should financially capable to get married? Okay. A man in Sharia is responsible for financial matters. Absolutely, that's right. Number two, where did he get this money from? That's our issue. Our issue is not he should be capable. He always should be capable. But the question is, okay, I'm not capable now. Can I take zakat to be capable? You understand the difference? Yes, you can take zakat to be capable and get married.
Yeah, usually they ask like imam.
Does I understand you? Do I understand you? Sorry? You should be capable to give a dowry and rent a house and bring provision, daily provision. That's three things. So if you're not capable and you want to take zakat to that, yes, that allow. If you want to ask from your father to give you, that's allow. So there's no contradiction here. The financial matters, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in Surah An-Nur, He talked to all the wise or elders in society that you should facilitate it. The financial matters should not be obstacle. Allah said, وَأَنْكِحُوا الْأَيَامَ مِنْكُمْ وَالصَّالِحِينَ مِنْ عِبَادِكُمْ وَإِمَائِكُمْ. Facilitate the nikah for those young people. إِن يَكُونُوا فُقَرَاء يُغْنِهِمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ. If the only obstacle is financial matters, you should facilitate it. From zakat, from your try to do initiative. Yes. Because financial come and go. The most important is personality and character. No. Okay. Yes.
Anything in the surah ruling which something to say about the qiyam of the so if you don't get married, then you should go for the rule or something like that.
Go for
So the qiyam
fasting. Fasting is not in Surah Al-Nur, no. Fasting is only on Sunnah, not in the Quran. The Quran here talk about the awliya or the old society. أنكحوا الأيام منكم وأنكحوا, and that's one of the Arabic language that, you know, أنكحوا. أنكحوا is this Hamza. If you say وانكحوا, you change the meaning completely. Just وانكحوا, different meaning. وأنكحوا that's different. Marry. وانكحوا is means marry them. وأنكحوا facilitate marriage for them. Yes.
even if it's a sister-owned wedding and they put a barrier up with social media, they can still end up online, still be posted everywhere.
Yeah.
What advice would you give? Should they
To post the wedding in social media is not haram, but I said to them to advise them that's not recommended. That bring a lot of jealousy, bring a lot of
if other people who turn up to the wedding, not themselves,
okay.
they want to be private, there's other people around who
Okay. Usually, what happened here, in some cases, that when the women came to the wedding, to the party, and they are in separate hall, they usually take their mobile phone in the door, which is a good habit. They put off all their mobile phone in the door, because if they want to take pictures from and they don't have their proper clothes, that's not good. So I would say this is very good idea. If the woman go to the hall, don't bring your mobile phone. Don't take pictures from others without their permission. That's not permissible. Yes. Yes. Last question. Yes. If the woman want to pray in the airport or sometimes in the park, for example, or some things, and she can't find any private space. Okay, the hukum here is we look at the time first. If she will stay there in the airport till the time finished, then she should pray there. Should look for any place. If she can't find, she can't pray any place, because fard here, she have to pray on time. Okay, some people, they thought that the woman in the public, she should pray while she are sitting. I don't know any of the four madhahib who said this. That's for me is new. I don't think any of all madhahib, they said she should stand. But if she can't do anything, Sharia doesn't say you should sit. That's not a reason for sitting. والله أعلم وصلى الله على عبد رسول سيدنا محمد.